Migration is when people move from one place to another or from one country to another. There are many different types of migrations. There is commuting migration, intra-urban migration, urban to rural migration, regional migration, and international migration. There are many types of migration. There is large-scale migration, which is a lot of people moving from one place to another, or small-scale migration, which is only a family moving around. There is also forced and voluntary migration. The types of migration we are going to talk about are the slaves migration, which was forced, and the Mexicans to the US, which was voluntary. The push factor is that people take the slaves forcefully, and they are sold to owners that make them work for hours on end without a lot of food or rest. There aren't a lot of pull factors to this, but if some of the slaves escape, or their owners let them go, they could start a new life in America. The consequences of the African slave trade are that African culture suffered. It decreased the population by a lot, and it scared a lot of the people who were living in Africa at the time. Families were torn apart, and the slave trade caused population decline in some African states, but it increased in others. By reducing the population, there would be fewer people competing for limited resources. As demands dropped, the prices for these goods would drop as well. The push factors are that some people moved to the US because of the drug rate in Mexico, crime, corruption, and a troubled economy. Some of these things push people out to start a new life in the US. The pull factors are mostly economic opportunities. Some people also move for religious and education purposes. Some people also move because they want to be closer to their family or friends. When people from Mexico move to the US, lots of people in the US are affected as well. Like USA might become overpopulated, overcrowded schools, a higher crime rate, and jobs might not pay as much. Lots of people would be without jobs as well. One of the groups that don't like Mexican immigrants are called California Coalition for Immigration Reform. Barbara Coe, a woman who has referred multiple times to Mexican immigrants as savages. I think that when people from Mexico move to the US, it's a good opportunity for people to start over and start a new life. But if too many people move, then people who were born in the US might be fighting for jobs with people who came from Mexico. So in my opinion, this is a good and bad thing as well.